Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. A local homeless shelter has a COVID outbreak and the neighbours are not too impressed. With the new year comes a by-election for a vacant school trustee position, and another high-profile candidate says they want the job. Change could be on the horizon at Cultus Lake, restricting visitor access. And on top of all of that, the Vancouver Canucks will be playing at home, but fans are still waiting on a decision for the Chiefs and perhaps the Chilliwack Jets. Our special guests this week include Dave Algra from Algra Brothers and the people behind the Five Corners Renaissance. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. It started out with a flurry of social media posts and then anonymous calls to chillTV from security guards who were told, do not go inside the Portal homeless shelter on Yale Road off downtown Chilliwack. Eventually, Fraser Health and BC Housing told media there was a massive COVID outbreak at the shelter, and it also affected the operator, Ruth and Naomi's Mission. 12 Ruth and Naomi staff and 25 clients tested positive. Now we understand it's almost 30. And some of them were sent to the Chilliwack Travel Lodge to isolate. Tina Ortuary, a neighbor who has been a vocal critic of the location of the shelter, fears for the health of her kids, let alone other parents. And the public relations and optics are not great for the Portal, as their 18-month temporary use permit is set to expire in the coming months. They were told back in October of 2019 by the city to find another location away from schools in the downtown core. The Portal is within blocks of 2 schools. Dr. Carin Bondar and Adam Suleman were, up till this past Tuesday, the only candidates running for the Chilliwack School Trustee by-election coming up in mid-February. That all changed this past Tuesday when Richard Procec, who is with Hofstede, threw his hat in the ring. Social media exploded on whether or not his beliefs could interfere with him doing his job. Now, election day is Saturday, February the 13th. By-elections traditionally have had very poor turnout, although that could change now this year. And by the way, this Friday is the deadline to file your intentions if you wish to run as a school board trustee. Clandestine drug labs are such a common thing that sometimes they get buried in newscasts unless they're across the street from a school. Last Sunday, Chilliwack Fire and RCMP, along with the Clandestine Laboratory Enforcement and Response Team, it's otherwise known as CLEAR, started a mop-up after a fire at the 48,000 block of Yale Road. A home with a drug lab was found, which, by the way, was across the street from GM Elementary. That cleanup continued well into Monday. The road wasn't reopened until Tuesday. When your personal information goes missing, eyebrows are raised. But in this case, on Christmas Eve, a number of property owners were informed that an information breach happened on December the 19th. So names and addresses of a number of Chilliwack property owners were stolen from a city employee's vehicle. A memo went out from the city that did not specify if this was digital information or hard copy. But according to the memo, specific private authorities, including the RCMP, were notified, and now no one at the city is commenting. It's not every day that somebody finds an urn at a bus stop, but that's exactly what happened. On November the 30th, somebody found an urn at a Yale Road downtown bus stop, and it was taken to RCMP. Now, Mounties only released this information over this past week. The bottom of the urn have the letters BJ printed. And many people on social media have said it looks like it's an urn that's used for pet remains. So if you have any information on who this belongs to, you're asked to call RCMP. The Cultus Lake Park Board wants to amend the foreshore area proposal. Now, in a nutshell, the Cultus Lake Park Board wants to reconstruct one of the existing wharves used for the main beach boat rentals business. It's at the end of its lifespan. The board would provide public access without interference to Cultus Lake in the main beach area, where a number of public parking lots are available, and in the Sunnyside campground area, while restricting public access to the foreshore in the residential areas. And that's all due to an increase, sadly, in break-ins and theft. From electronic art to the revamp of the downtown Chilliwack area and the 1881 district project, Dave Algra and his Algra Brothers team have become part of the city fabric. chillTV spoke with Dave Algra, getting an update on how this project is progressing. chillTV's News of the Week. Don Lehn with Dave Algra of Algra Brothers, and we're doing an update on the massive reconstruction in the downtown core and a couple of other odds and ends that are happening as well. Dave, around this time last year, March of 2020, because of COVID, there was a stop work for all construction projects, not just Algra Brothers. Correct me on the timeline. That puts you back about 2 to 3 weeks, or have you been able to catch up? Because a lot of work has been done since we all went through that initial stage of COVID back last March.
Yeah, it's definitely a different world for us than it was a year ago. We did get set back, obviously, by being shut down for several weeks in March. All of our on-site procedures have all changed as well. Less people working in one space at one time, and segregation of different trades and different types of workers. So we're on schedule for our 2020 COVID schedule. Let's put it that way.
Good stuff. Since the building, and when you were first were doing demo, you were finding a lot of hidden treasures, bottles and tools and newspaper clippings. Since the construction, especially of Woolly Dog Alley and the beginning of Sasquatch, any other finds, or has it been pretty much, okay, we cleared out everything we could find and we just start building up?
Yeah, we're still running across the odd thing. On our Instagram feed, our District 1881 feed, you're gonna start to see some more of those little blips and little news feeds of treasure. Yeah, little treasure finds. So over the next few months, there's a few things we're gonna release that you probably haven't seen yet. Building now, we're obviously finding less things because we're doing less excavation, but we still have excavation happening on our parkade in the back, and yeah, you're gonna also be able to see on our Instagram feed the repurposing of a lot of the materials that we found and dug out of these old buildings. Mm-hmm. So people are going to be able to see what we've done with them.
Phase 1, is it pretty much complete now, and we're working on phase 2, which is, I guess, the Empress Apartments?
Yeah, so phase 1 was renovation of all the existing buildings. We're not done that. We're on our last building, which is set to be open in May of this year. So once we're done in May, June-ish, phase 1 should be complete. Phase 2 is the apartment building, and it looks like phase 2 should be done at the end of February, beginning of March.
BC Hydro has stated a couple of weeks ago there's going to be traffic disruptions, but no major power outages to hook all that up. Is that going according to plan right now?
Yes, sir. We've been working hard, and we actually have all of our on-site servicing done. So all our underground work, PMT pads, everything on-site is complete. And we're ready to transition from the old overhead power to all of our new underground grid here. Yeah.
The Parkade and Thunderbird Lane, is that still year and a half down the road, or what's the timeline looking like?
Yeah, the Parkade is 70% complete. We're hoping to have the Parkade and our surface parking open in April of this year. So Parkade is just about done. You're going to start to see the brick facade go on the outside of it in the next month or so here, which is exciting. And what was your other question?
Thunderbird Lane. Because a lot of people are wanting to know of a certain small little restaurant. When is that going to come back?
So if you're referring to Uptown Grill, yes. That one's in our last building of phase 1. We're actually working on that space right now and hoping to have them open in May. So they'll be one of the last businesses to open in phase 1. Thunderbird Lane is going to start at 5 Corners, and you're going to see buildings 4 and 5, which is our first new buildings. That'll be our 2 and 3 story product. Mm-hmm. Those buildings you'll see development permit applications for those in the coming weeks, and we're hoping to start construction on those buildings in March of this year.
The work that you did a few years back with Abbotsford and then this, are there major differences, or is it pretty much the same philosophy that you've been able to take a look at what you learned from doing Abbotsford and then bringing it to District 1881?
Yeah, District 1881 is an entirely different scale than what we did in Abbotsford. So from that perspective, it's a lot larger and more complex project here. But I think the work we did in Abbotsford gave us really good experience in certain facets of dealing with these renovated buildings, and then on top of that, dealing with our tenant placement and the businesses that we're looking at putting here and the businesses that we've opened up. Definitely garnered a lot of experience in Abbotsford, yeah.
And last but not least, all of a sudden, some electronic art kind of popped up, and my first reaction was, well, obviously, this is the city of Chilliwack, because Councillor Sue Knott is always involved in art projects. She said, nope, you better make a phone call to Dave. What inspired you to get this going? Because everybody downtown can see it. It's glowing every night, and it really looks great.
Yeah, the art that you see downtown, particularly the light, that is us. We purchased all of this equipment from actually on Vancouver Island.
Uh-huh.
We want to, the installations you see now are temporary, so we've just put them up in Woolly Dog Alley, and then also we've lit up the pathway between the Victoria Street parking lot and Yale Road, and they'll be up there for probably about a year, and then all that will get repurposed into permanent installations in Woolly Dog and Thunderbird lanes when we're ready to do that. The reason for purchasing the lights, we just wanted to give another level of experience to people who are visiting 1881. So when we're all done, you're going to see a variety of different types of installations with these lights. So they'll be incorporated into some of the landscaping on some of the buildings. There'll be some hardscaping installations done with them. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're audio reactive. Mm-hmm. So when you're in the lanes, you know, people talking or people making noise affects how the lights work. So it just gives another level of experience for people that are going to come down and check out 1881.
Last but not least, one thing that when Woolly Dog opened up, I purposely was eavesdropping on conversations. The one thing I kept hearing over and over and over again was Chilliwack finally has its own gas town, and that's got to put a smile on your face.
Yeah. No, the response has been better than we could have ever anticipated. We're so happy that Chilliwack's coming out and supporting the businesses that we've opened here. The businesses are doing great. The feedback we've been getting from people has been awesome. So yeah, it's really satisfying, and it's definitely a great feeling when people show up and believe in what we're doing and enjoy what we're doing.
Dave, we will have more of these conversations. Again, big thank you for joining us. I know you've got a busy schedule. Thanks again.
Thanks, Don.
Dave Algra Brothers, and of course the District 1881 and the major redevelopment of the downtown core. And you're watching chillTV's News of the Week. chillTV Sports, the Vancouver Canucks will be playing home games this season at Rogers Arena. The team in the NHL giving assurances to BC Premier John Horgan that COVID protocol will be strictly enforced. Now, the Canucks will be playing in a revamped North Division. Well, basically, that's a PR name for a Canadian division, as travel to the U.S. won't be possible. This will affect the BC Hockey League. Mind you, its future is still in the balance. Princeton is remaining to be a rumored city for a bubble area for 17 of the 18 teams to play some type of a season. Wenatchee, in the States, the only American team, has already suspended their play for the year. Now, the BC Hockey League is yet to reveal what their plans are and are still waiting for Dr. Bonnie Henry's next call. Meanwhile, the BC Hockey League and the Chilliwack Chiefs have lost players to the U.S. Hockey League, 6 players from the Chiefs alone. And all of these players just want to play. The irony is the BC Hockey League, which is on hold, and the U.S. Hockey League, which is playing, are 2 of the most successful feeder circuits for NCAA college hockey. chillTV weather, it is a mix of sun and rain for the weekend. A little heavier on the rain, but very mild. Highs could be approaching 10. So with that comes the avalanche risk in the backcountry. If you'd like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, send us a note to news@chilltv.ca and we'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.